Okay, don't mind my makeup, like I'm having some issue. My eyes are crying and I don't know what to do, but hello! So today we're gonna talk about my TBR for the Demonathon hosted by Yumi Yamamoto, aka Sophia. So she created that readathon that's gonna start on February 14 until the last day of February. No, the 28th, I think. So it's gonna be a 2-week long readathon. It's gonna be a very hard challenge because on February 14 I'm leaving Belgium. I'm going to Canada, to Montreal in Quebec for 2 weeks. So I'm traveling at the exact same time as she's hosting the readathon, but I'm gonna try to support her. I'm gonna try to kill some books for my TBR and I'm gonna do my best. But hey, I'm only human. I'm not a demon. I'm not a demon. The thing is that readathon is really well thought. You have to go on her website. You have to check her announcement video, which will be linked down below, because she created like an entire world. You have to pick your demon. You have to say why him, what you're expecting from him, etc, etc. You also had like to take some kind of quiz if you wanted the help of another demon in order to like help you during that readathon. Like one book could count for 2 prompts, or you don't have to read like the one I got. I forgot the name of it, but it actually allows me to not read the book group kind of thing. But there is also a giveaway, and in order to participate in that giveaway you have to read all the books. I think she created like 8 prompts, so you have to read all 8 books in order to apply for that giveaway or to be eligible for that giveaway, and you cannot use the help from that demon kind of thing. So it's hard, but please, here I will put some pictures of what she created, and yes, please check her announcement video because it's going to be so much fun. She created a Twitter, there is a website, everything will be linked down below as usual. But let's just jump into my TBR. So part of my TBR is here on my, some call it a trolley, others call it like a TBR card. I don't know how I'm supposed to call it, but the books are here. So yeah. So I have to read 8 books for that readathon. So I have 5 physical books, but I already got them as ebooks because no way I'm traveling to Canada with 10 books. I need to buy stuff up there. So I need the space and the kilos in my luggage. And the rest of the books are actually ebooks that I own already. I got everything. I'm not waiting for any delivery, so I'm ready kind of thing. I still have the flight. I think I could read a lot in the flight to go there and to come back. But actually when I come back, it will be like Saturday morning, the 29th. So it's maybe not the best because, yeah, but it will still be the 28th in Canada. Like, oh, guess that I'm leaving, like I'm gonna have more time because I'm leaving here early in the morning when it's still the 13th in Canada, and I will arrive in Canada the 14th, so I'm gonna have more time. Like it's like time travel. No, never mind. So the first prompt was Incubus and Succubus, steamy romance or a book with a sex scene. You know, I'm not into steamy romances at all. Most of the books I read, there is no sex scene or whatever in them, but I've read Covenant, so Half-Blood by Armentrout, what's her name? Jennifer Armentrout, and it had sex scenes if I remember well. So I'm gonna pick the sequel to that one. I don't know the name of it. I'm gonna put a picture over here, so I'm gonna read that one. It's not gonna be a huge book or whatever. The first one I read in no time, so I expect the same for the sequel. I hope it's gonna be as good, as guilty pleasure as the first one, and that it has a sex scene, but I think it should have, because it has to do with paranormal characters, and it is a paranormal fantasy, YA, and it has romance in it, some kind of romance, complicated romance, or attraction, physical attractions, etc, etc. So I really hope there's gonna be a sex scene in the, not that I want a sex scene, but I want a sex scene for that one, if that makes any sense. Then we have Yokai, a light and fun read. For that I picked actually the sequel to A Curse, So Dark and Lonely, so A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kammer. Why light and fun? Because I found the first book light and fun. It wasn't like I didn't cry over it, I didn't feel too much. It was light in that way for me. That's my interpretation. And fun because I read it in no time. I read it in one sitting. So I expect the sequel to be as good as the first one. It is basically a retelling of the Beauty and the Beast, and it has some modern touch because the girl is actually coming from our world and she's gonna use like some kind of portal to go to that fairy tale land, country, kingdom, whatever, where she has to break some kind of curse. It's so different from other retellings because there is no love at first sight, it's not easy, and the characters are believable. Also, what they're feeling are very relatable. So I really love, so hopefully that one will be a quick read. I think so. That would be like perfect for what I'm trying to say is that it will be perfect for the plane, like reading it during the flight. Yeah. Then you have Shatani. It is a weird book, or a book that doesn't have only one genre, or something that is outside your comfort zone. So for that I picked Sleep. I think it's by, I forgot the name of the author. It has to do with Taylor, C.S. Taylor, I think. Okay, so the background might be a little different because my SD card was actually full, so I had to empty it. And it has apparently something to do with some kind of thriller, whatever. Let me check. When you look at the cover, it already looks like kind of creepy kind of thing. But here it says, all Anna wants is to be able to sleep. A crushing insomnia, terrifying night terrors, and memories of that terrible night are making it impossible. If only she didn't feel so guilty. To escape her past, Anna takes a job at a hotel on the remote Scottish island of Rum. But when 7 guests join her, what started as a retreat from the world turns into a deadly nightmare. Each of the guests have a secret, but one of them is lying about who they are and why they're on the island. There's a murderer staying in the Bayview Hotel, and they've set their sight on Anna. 7 strangers, 7 secrets, 1 deadly lie. Someone's going to sleep and never wake up. So outside of my comfort zone, because that's not what I usually read, I tend to read fantasy and sci-fi, sometimes like historical fiction and fiction, blah blah blah, but not a lot of thriller. I cannot remember the last time I've read a thriller or horror kind of thing, whatever. So yeah. Then we have Wekufe, whatever, it's Lies and Secrets. So I'm gonna pick for that one Girls of Storm and Shadow by Natasha I'm not sure how you pronounce her name, but this is a sequel to Girls of Paper and Fire. I think that's the first one, and the first one had a lot of secrets and lies, etc. So I'm guessing that one's gonna have lies and secrets as well, especially with the ending of the first one. So I guess that's a good pick. That's also a fairly limited edition, and it is signed by the author here. And yeah, so it's a gorgeous cover. Actually, I'm not gonna, oh, that's so sad that I'm not gonna have to read that book, that I'm gonna actually read the e-book. But it sounds interesting, sounds as I could just fly through that book and read everything. The first book had to do with some people, like you have the paper cast, the silver cast, and the moon cast. The paper cast are humans like us, and then 10 girls got picked, or 11, I cannot remember, to go to the king's palace, whatever, because they're gonna become like sex slaves kind of thing. And then you have the silver cast, where humans with some animal attributes, and then you have the moon cast, where like human, animal looking human kind of thing. And so they're going to that castle, to that palace, and they're going to be like the king's sex toys basically. So lots of triggers, but I didn't feel like the triggers were heavier kind of thing. I was a bit bored, it was a bit predictable, etc, etc, but I'm still intrigued by the sequel. So Wekufe, here you go. Then we have A Demoness. Again, I don't know how you pronounce that, but you had to find an inspiring read. For that, I picked Come November by Catherine Random, because it has to do with a girl who's gonna try to save her brother or a little sister from her mother, who got involved in some kind of cult. She believes that on November the 18th or 17th or 14th, I forgot as well, they're gonna all disappear. They're gonna leave her behind. It is inspiring because first, it's outside of my comfort zone as well, because it's a fiction. It's like contemporary fiction kind of thing. It's not fantasy, it's not sci-fi, as long as I know, as long as I'm aware of. I'm not sure, but it's also about cults, which is something that we know here, and I would like to know how she dealt with that, how that character dealt with that, because that's her mother. So how do you go against someone you love and someone's belief, etc., etc.? And how can you just let them go, maybe? Or do you have to, like, I don't know. I feel like it could be very inspiring. So that one. Then we have Jin's, which is adventures and actions, etc. So for that, I'm gonna pick Queen of Ruin, which is a sequel to, what's the name? Grace and Fury by Tracy Banghart. So the first book is actually the story of two sisters. One was raised to be like the next king's wife or whatever, and the other one was actually raised to be her servant, her sister's servant, kind of thing. They're going to the palace and all prepare for that, blah blah blah, and something happened, and that's not exactly what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna say more because spoilers, it's such a short book that I'm scared to spoil you anything. But what you have to know about that book, it is about girl power, but it is also about maybe you need sometimes to be far away from someone to understand why they're working that way, why they're thinking that way, why they're so different from you. And those two sisters are gonna learn from each other from far away from each other, which I really love. So girl power, I'm here for it. Then we have Raven Mulker, so an indulgent book. I really struggle for that one because actually it really depends on everyone, but I picked for that one Malamander by Thomas Taylor. It is a middle grade fantasy book. I picked that one because I didn't know what to pick, and I really intrigued about that book. I love that spread edges here. It's just on that side of the pages, which is really weird. Never got a book like that. And I love the cover. It's so yellowish and greenish, like almost like, yeah, not really, but I really want to read that one. Who will uncover the secret of the Malamander? In the basement of the Grand Nautilus Hotel, mysterious girl crashes into Harvey Lemon's room and cries, "Hide me!" In the window of the eerie book dispensary, a mechanical mirror monkey sits and waits, and out beyond the pier, something steers. Could the legendary Malamander have returned? I mean, middle grade, it sounds cute, it sounds interesting, indulgent, maybe? I hope that fits the prompt. Then we have the group read, which is actually She Walks in Shadows by Silvia Moreno Garcia, Paula R. Stiles, and Gemma Files, etc. apparently. And oh, it's all, I don't know. But I don't even know what it is about, so let me see with you. There is a table of, you cannot see, but table of contents. So I was like, is that synopsis? No, it's not. So the blurb is: they emerge from the shadows to claim the night. Women from around the world delve into Lovecraftian depths, penning and illustrating a variety of weird horrors. The pale and secretive Lavinia wanders through the woods. Arsenault is a precocious teenager with an attitude, and the ancient Egyptian pharaoh Nitocris has found a new body in distant America. And do you have time to hear a word from our beloved mother, Shub-Niggura? Defiant, descriptive, terrifying, and harrowing, the woman in She Walks in Shadows are monsters and mothers, heroes and devourers. Observe them in all their glory. La la. That apparently it's a lot of like short stories. Silvia Moreno Garcia, is that? The table of content is long, so it looks like it's gonna be like lots of little stories. I have no idea. I should have listened to Sophia, so I assume Yamamoto better. I cannot remember what it is about, but let's read like some kind of review. My horror book club is reading a selection of Lovecraft in October, and this anthology will follow in November as a well-crafted response to this work. This is a collection worth sharing with all your friends. There are so many great deconstruction of Lovecraft work, along with some refreshing new approaches. Bitter Perfume is a great riff on cool air that is subtle and brings in entirely different fears of mortality. Additionally, on a closer second read, it includes some really interesting commentary on gender roles. Okay, so yeah. So well, that's it for my Demonathon TBR. I really hope you enjoyed this TBR because apparently a lot of people love TBR videos. So I do as well because I love watching TBRs because I always keep adding books to my TBR, which is not something I should do, but I love doing it, but blah blah blah. Let me know if you're doing that readathon. If you're not, maybe check her announcement video. Maybe you wanna do it, but you don't know yet that you want to do it. But yeah, well, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to be a part of the pack. Talk to me in the comment section as usual, and until next time, take care, wolves. Bye.